The following is only intended for mature audiences. This program contains strong language, controversial opinions about controversial people, outrageous guests, and true villainy. If you cannot handle these things, then respectfully, you are a bitch. And this probably isn't the show for you. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the Supervillain Show. I'm your host, Injustis, your local supervillain. Thank y'all for tuning back in. Thank y'all for tuning in again. We're back with another interview. It's the first interview I've done in a minute.
Yeah.
And this interview was a long time coming, bro.
Yeah.
This is a long time coming. When I wanted to start doing interviews again, I knew this is the one I wanted to start with just because we tried to do this so many times,
bro.
So many times. I got here with my boy King Prince.
Yes, sir. I'm in the
good,
building.
bro?
What's going on, bro?
How you feeling, man? I appreciate you for coming up,
Man.
because I know it's deep.
Nah, super. Yo.
I know it's deep. I know it's deep, bro.
We was like, yo.
Am I still in New Jersey?
Anywhereville, like.
Yeah.
Just,
I live in the woods, low key.
I ain't complaining because like, I'm happy to be here, bro. For real, like.
Hell yeah.
I really enjoy watching you make your content. Like,
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. We followed each other for like
a year, right?
It got to be like a couple years now. I feel.
Really?
I feel. Was it before the pandemic?
I think it may have been around that actual time.
I think so because I remember I asked you.
Oh, so that makes it 3 years. Then.
I feel like it's around there because I asked you to do my first podcast. I had a podcast when I was at Shout Out Brave New Radio before this one.
Mm-hmm.
And where I used to interview artists, and I asked you to do that one, and then I think the pandemic happened. I think that's what happened. So It's been a long time. It's been a long time, bro.
I didn't realize it's been that long. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. We finally get to meet in person, man.
It's lit.
That's so crazy that like social media is that way. We're like, there could be someone where like you've talked to numerous occasions,
right,
for years.
We was just like, talking about that. She was just questioning like, so like, what do you know about him? I'm like, bro, like, actually, question got the question. I'm like, bro, I don't know the man. Like, I just know him through Instagram. I like his content. That's it. Like,
Facts. My mom asked me the same thing. She's like, you know this dude? I was like, I mean, not really, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's just how it is, bro.
Amen.
How you feeling though, bro?
Blessed, bro.
Blessed.
I feel amazing.
I peeped you were performing last night
by accident.
Oh, word? It just
happened? Nothing's by accident. Everything is God ordained, but like. I wasn't scheduled to.
You weren't supposed to perform.
Nah, like it was just I had a sister invite me to an art show out in Philly.
Oh, word, tough.
And I was like, I bet, and I agreed because like honestly, I've never been to Philly, and I wanted to try a cheesesteak.
I've still never had a cheesesteak.
I still didn't get one, by the way.
Oh, word?
No, we didn't have time.
You know what it is, bro? It's because I don't want to have it. I feel like the first time I have a cheesesteak got me in Philly.
Bro, wait, what do you mean ever?
Yeah, I've never had a cheesesteak. Ever, bro. Ever.
Bro, that right there.
I know it sounds crazy.
It shows you like you live in Wackness, because how have you never had
so first, I haven't like I've lived here for like a year.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in like Passaic County, like Patterson, around that area.
They got cheesesteaks.
I know they have them. It's just like
just never is crazy.
I don't know. I feel like I've never like had the need to get one. I don't know. I've never wanted to order one, nothing like that. And I feel like,
I think you should put that on the to-do list before the year is out.
Because I know they got good spots in I heard they got good spots in like South Jersey.
South Jersey?
There's good spots over here too?
I don't, as a person from North Jersey, we don't really consider South Jersey a real place.
Well, I thought I know Middle Jersey. Whatever that area is.
Bro, it's
Central
North
Jersey.
It's North Jersey or nothing.
Yeah. I know Central Jersey definitely don't exist, but I know I got a couple homies in South Jersey.
It's like saying I'm from up this part of Jersey. It's like, where is that? Bro, if it's not Excess County, I don't acknowledge it.
You don't even acknowledge Passaic County?
No.
Damn, that's crazy. You really have some tribalism shit, bro.
You know what? I'm not gonna fake. I don't know nothing about Passaic County, but it's like usually
Patterson.
when people. Oh, okay. So Patterson part. Oh nah, I have sisters from Patterson. So
Yeah.
before y'all see this, I apologize. I didn't know.
Passaic County, kind of big though. It's like it's Patterson, Clifton, Passaic, like Wayne, Passaic, Jersey.
Trenches though.
Yeah. Some of it for sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
Some of it for sure.
I might turn down a show performance in Patterson. Hey, put up the Patterson. No,
In Clifton maybe.
possibly.
Yeah, but yeah, again, I don't know. I'll put the cheesesteak on my to do list though.
Please do.
Sure.
Do yourself that favor.
But again, I want to have the first one like Philly though. I want to have like an official one.
I feel
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
If you don't do it right the first time,
Yeah, because like I remember I used to work at like the mall. There was like a Charlie's. I'm just like nah, because I know it's gonna be like it's gonna be okay, but like it's not gonna be like official. You know what I'm saying?
What do you like to eat?
I mean, I'm not that picky. Like I'll try one. It's just like
I feel that.
after a while, it's like.
But like if you like say right now, like you hungry,
Mm-hmm.
you like what's your go to?
See, unfortunately, I'm not gonna dox where I am right now. But I'm gonna say it's a very Caucasian area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the food is not exactly the best part of this area.
Okay.
Luckily, I found a couple. Like right now, there's this Dominican spot, like a town over that I go to.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go to right now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty much Spanish food.
Oh, okay. So that makes a lot of sense.
Jamaican food,
Bruh. Hooked on Jamaican food.
Jamaican food is.
I put my whole church on this spot in Irvington called Clayton's Pots. They trying to fit. That's Cap? That's not Cap. She's capping. I put the whole church on. Like people were trying to fade it at first. It's okay. Then months later, everyone's like, man, this spot is amazing. Like, like yeah, I try to tell you.
Jamaican food go hard.
Yeah.
I used to always go to the Jamaican spot by my barbershop. Just get
That's
Jamaican
clutch.
vibes.
Get a shape up, leave.
Yeah,
Yo, you get a oxtail platter.
So, yeah, see, you already know the vibes.
You feel me? I'm out here.
Shit. But yeah, as I said, I followed you for a minute, bro. And I have to say, I've definitely seen you progress as an artist a little bit, and especially in the last, like, I want to say like year or so, or a year and a half. I remember, so you dropped your project. It was In My Feelings. That was like 2 projects ago, right?
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, bro. You sent it to me.
I didn't think you actually listened to it.
No, yeah, no, for sure. Again, we were supposed to do this interview like 5 times.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I prepared for this interview like 5 times type shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's when you really started to like really find yourself as like at least find like your sound and shit. You know what I mean?
Honestly, well, not really. Like that was my R&B era.
Yeah.
So the R&B era started with the very first R&B album, which was called Wet Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Roses Are Red, and then it was Club Fantasy, and then it was In My Feelings. In My Feelings, I feel like is when I probably like mastered the R&B sound.
Yeah.
So I can see why it would come off as like, all right, you found the sound. It was finding that style, honestly, because I was always melodic, but I never full-fledged stepped into R&B. And by In My Feelings, it was like, you sound like an R&B singer for real.
Yeah, I think that might have been what it is. I remember you hitting me up saying that like you're about to change your sound.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first hit you up, you were like mostly just rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, yeah, I'm going to change my sound to R&B. What made you want to like go through that change?
Because I was always singing.
Mm-hmm.
I was always harmonizing. And it's like, I tell people quick, I don't identify myself as a rapper. I never have. Yeah. So I always said I'm a hip hop artist, and people would be like, what's the difference? And it kind of bothers me because it's like, why do you not know the difference? Like, if you're into music, you call yourself a music head. Yeah. Like, you should know the difference. But I enjoy breaking stuff down because I'm really like a music nerd. So I kind of get a kick out of breaking stuff down to people. But the difference between being a rapper and a hip hop artist, hip hop is not just rap.
It's not.
Hip hop is a bunch of mixtures of different things. You got graffiti art. You got R&B vocalists. You got people that rap. You got people that write. Then there's the dancing part. Like, we taking it back to the origin. It's like the breakdancing and all that.
Yeah.
Hip hop is a bunch of different things. So when I say I'm a hip hop artist, it means I know how to incorporate all different type of things into my music. I'm not just rapping. I've never been just rapping. Except when I first started out and I was freestyling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how. But then I evolved. I have a lot of different music influences. It's like I look at music like a recipe. It's like if you want to make this one meal, you have to get several different type of ingredients before it becomes that. You feel
Right.
me? So it's like
Right.
I don't mind giving praise where it's due towards like my influences. You know, a lot of artists that try to like you can clearly hear where they're sounding it comes
For
from,
sure.
and they be like, nah. It was like, bro, I can hear it
For
like,
sure, for sure.
You feel me? So it's like I never had no problem. Like, yeah, like if you can pinpoint it, I'll tell you like, yeah, that's accurate. But yeah, man, I really enjoy this stuff, man. So as a hip hop artist, I just like to I go off my emotion. To me, music is a feeling. It's impossible for me to just say anything. Like I'm not just rhyming words. Like everything I've ever done, it's always been like a real life experience. And of course, sometimes here and there you might exaggerate something, but for the most part, like whatever I said, like nah, either I lived it or I seen it.
And I could definitely hear that, bro. And I think a lot of people get like rap and hip hop kind of like mixed up because
It's easy to
Yeah, I think hip hop is kind of like it's kind of like rock, where it's like not like it may be rock, but there's different kinds of rock.
hip hop
different
has
kinds
taken over for rock for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hip hop
is
is
the new rock and roll.
It's the number one genre in the world.
Yes,
Like if you look at all the biggest, there's hip hop influence in like every major.
Taylor Swift has tried to spit a bar.
Yeah, facts. Justin Bieber's rapping now. The biggest artist in like the whole world is probably Bad Bunny, who is a rapper.
Yeah,
He raps.
Yeah,
Basically, he's not like a singer. He's like a rapper though.
Facts.
So obviously, you just dropped a new album, right?
Yeah, man. The baptism.
But before we get to that, I want to get to your last project.
I knew it was coming.
I know because that was the last time we were supposed to do an interview. We were supposed to talk about that.
Yes.
The Love Scar Melody, which was fire. To me, I heard a lot of like 2000s R&B influence in that shit. Did you get any influence from like 2000s R&B?
That's an interesting take. No, but so
one of my favorite songs on it was Heart on Trail, and you had that Trey Songz sample.
Yes.
That's
okay. I can see. I forgot about that song. Yes, that was definitely a Trey Songz sample, but that project as a whole, I didn't get the inspiration from early 2000s though. Honestly, that was the beginning of Kanye West has always been my favorite artist of all time, but that was the first album where I started to like embrace his influence for real, as far as like how it sounded.
Yeah,
like all my other projects before that, I don't think anyone would have guessed Kanye was like at my top of the list because it didn't sound anything Kanye-ish.
I mean, a little bit.
Really? Which one?
As far as like, I think in my feelings, I think I hear a little bit of Kanye.
Really?
A little bit.
That's interesting.
And just in your sound, like in general, though.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. That's my first time hearing it, so I'm not gonna knock it.
So who do you usually hear?
Bro, it's been so many different people.
You hear like
so
Wayne
people, but no, I haven't heard
Word?
that. But that you're spot on though. Wayne is like Wayne was the reason why I started rapping.
I feel like those are the two people that I thought of. At least like with this project, I thought of like Ye, Wayne, or maybe like T-Pain.
You know what's funny? T-Pain is not only one of like my major influences in music, but when I was working in the airport before the pandemic back in 2019, my nickname in the store was T-Pain.
Was T-Pain?
Because like everyone who knew my music, it was like the way I would harmonize, and I'm always singing on track. Even though I wasn't like R&B, I was rapping, but I would always like sing. Yeah. And I had my locks at the time. Okay. So it was like my nickname was T-Pain, and I just thought that was hilarious because like, well, I can't deny he is one of my influences, so I just accepted it. But yeah, shout out to T-Pain, man, one of the greatest.
He don't get the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, people are just now starting to like acknowledge it, but it's like, if you know, you know.
I think because like so many people are sampling like 2000 shit now too.
Yes,
it's like a big wave now.
Yeah, like everyone's like trying to recapture the sound from like the early 2000s, early 90s. It's like I don't knock it, but it's like I'm so big on being original and creative. It's like if you're going to go that route, like at least try something, like add a new idea to it. Like people will sample something and it's literally the same song. Like the new song with The Weeknd and 21 Savage and Metro Boomin. I don't listen to the radio. So I've only been hearing it because like I'll get in the lift on my way to work and they'll play in the radio and I'll hear it. And I'm like, oh, this sounds really familiar. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I know where they got this from. And it's like, they didn't change anything.
Yeah, not really. I'm a big Weeknd fan. I'm a big Metro Boomin fan too.
Mhm.
And like first line,
Mhm.
even before that, when he started like harmonizing, I was like, I know what they're doing.
Okay.
Like I recognize like the song.
Yeah, I recognize the
And-
beat first.
Yeah, and I loved it at first, but it's just so overplayed, man.
Mhm.
It's so overplayed.
See, luckily for me, I don't listen to the radio, so I don't have that problem.
I don't listen to the radio either. I listen to that song a lot, and I listen to radio from like time to time,
Okay,
a little bit. But yeah, that shit overplayed, dog.
I believe
is,
it.
honestly. But yeah, I had that written down too. That I heard a lot of Kanye influence in there. Off
Absolutely.
like the album cover alone, I thought was like
For Baptism or
no
Love Scar
for
Melody.
Love Scar Melody.
Oh no, that was directly
Yeah,
inspired by 808s
808s.
and Heartbreak. Absolutely,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
undeniable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I was saying before, the Love Scar Melody is what started the Kanye influence. Like it activated for me. It was like, all right, I wanted to start taking that route because I wanted to get more soulful in my music, like with sampling. Like, I've never sampled before prior to the Love Scar Melody. Like it was always original music, always original beats. And I always just wanted to have my own sound. But with the Love Scar Melody, what inspired that album was a real live actual heartbreak. And as I was writing the music out, I was like, man, like I'm really hurt, but this is really great music. And I was like, what does this remind me of? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is my version of 808s and Heartbreak. And I got so excited because that's like my favorite album of all time.
Really?
And once it clicked to me, it was like, this is my version of that. I went full force into it. I'm like, oh no, I need to like recapture moments from that album. So that's when I had songs like Killed Me, which was like paying homage to Love Lockdown. Bro, when I was writing the song, I was literally shedding tears as I'm like typing it out. But it's like half of me is like, bro, I'm so hurt. But then the other half was like, bro, this is amazing. It's like, this is amazing.
You know what's so crazy, bro? That was literally the next question I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you if like that it was inspired by an actual heartbreak,
Yes.
or like if you took like different experiences and like put them together.
So that was in my feelings was a mixture of different situations around the same time. 808s, I mean, the Love Scar Melody was one specific person. And
Shout out to them.
yes,
Got
shout
the
out to
music.
them because honestly, I have a line. I think it's in Killed Me where I say, you killed me, but that's what set me free. And that was a lot of honesty in that line because that breakup is what started my serious walk with God. Because I felt like I was losing so much around me at the time besides just her, but she was just like a big part of it. So it was like her, I was losing my job, I was losing friends around, everything was just falling apart, just burning down around me. And I just felt like literally like a part of me was dying. Like not even a part of me. Like I felt like the Levi I knew, like he was like dead. And it's very fitting that the very next album, which was like a year later, happened to be this album, but it's like this is the new me in a whole new light. And I wouldn't have gotten here had it not been. See, God is very funny, but God will literally break you down because he wants to strip away the things that are not of him. And he wants to take away things from your life that are holding you back from your calling. See, a lot of us, well, everyone, we have, when you're starting out, it's just our own agenda. It's what we have, what we want to do, how we think we should run our lives, where we think we should go. It's me, what I want to do. But once you commit your life to God, it's a whole different world. It ain't about you at all. It's about what is God saying to me. You have to figure that out. And you have to really, if you really want to know, you have to sit yourself down and really get in his presence and learn how to hear from him. Because you can't say, oh, God told me to do this. How do you know? You haven't trained yourself to listen to him. You just remembering how you used to think and how you used to feel. So it's like you haven't really killed that part of you yet.
Yeah.
I literally had to kill the old parts of me in order to get closer to God. So yeah, it's been a crazy walk, bro.
Sometimes you need something like tragic to happen to you to like bring you to like that next path. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, a lot of greatest moments in life history literally came from some type of heartbreak.
Yeah,
or tragedy.
That's a fact. And look, some of like the best music ever
Yes.
inspired by it. I'd say the number one inspiration in music
Heartbreak
is 100% heartbreak.
100% heartbreak.
I'd say like it's heartbreak, and then right under is probably like drugs.
Yes.
Drug use.
Yes.
I think those are like the top
It's very
two
accurate.
for sure. Especially like today, like in music today.
It's always been a thing.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I feel like back then it was probably
different
more
drugs,
prominent
maybe?
because the music was more soulful. So you was getting like the purest, rawest emotion off of these drugs. Like the drugs back then, I don't know,
different drugs.
It was pure. Like they had the James Brown. He had the purest cocaine in history.
Yeah, for sure.
For a fact. That
sure.
man
I remember when
off his rocker.
When what's the album called? With Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. The album with Leave the Door Open on it.
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah, they went back.
That was a great project.
It was.
They named the project after the group. What's the name of the group?
Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic. Yeah.
That's what I was like, yeah. That was.
They definitely were on drugs when they recorded that.
Oh no, you for sure. But again, it depends on like the drugs though, because like now you have some rappers like Juice WRLD or Future. Like rappers now are like sad.
A lot of them be faking it, and that's why it took. I'm gonna catch some flack for saying this, but I really didn't care for Juice WRLD. R.I.P. to him. Like I respected him as an artist. Let me say that. I respect
his music.
Yes, like I'll never discredit someone. Like if you got talent, even if I don't like you or agree with it, I'll never say you're trash.
Yeah,
but I will say it wasn't for me because I just never really cared for the drug where I'm depressed, I'm popping pills, and that just bothered me. It didn't sit well with me. Even before coming to Christ, it was just like, why do you feel empowered because you on drugs? Like it just didn't resonate with me. And I seen how it captured the world, and it was like, y'all are really rocking with this. Like every other rapper would be like, I popped that pill, I'm itching, scratching. Why is that appealing? Why?
I think, you said it. A lot of people, like a lot of rappers be lying. So I don't think that I don't know if people necessarily gravitate towards the drug use. I think they gravitate towards him being sad. Because I think a lot of people are like depressed or like openly depressed, I guess. I guess a lot of kids or like younger people probably resonated with that at least.
And see, that's why it's like a catch-22 with me, because I agree with like people resonating with how they're feeling, but it's like you're literally telling these kids to do drugs. And it makes it worse if you're not doing the drugs. Like I remember Future did an interview when he did the High Off Life album, and he said in the interview he was afraid to tell people that he wasn't doing drugs no more because he thought he would lose his audience. But it's like that just goes to show a lot of artists aren't really genuine, or they're scared to be their authentic selves. Because why are you afraid to, if you know you have an influence on these people, if you can help save their lives, like literally help save their lives and say, hey, I'm not doing these drugs anymore. Why? Because you're so prideful, you care about your fame, you care about losing your money. You rather risk these people's lives for that and be like, nah, I'm not going to tell them the truth. I'm a lie. I'm still sipping lean. I'm still popping. Like, honestly, 100% transparency. Future is the reason that I was drinking lean. Like, I used to drink lean heavy back in like 2014 through 2016. Like, I was on breast tapped on my arm. Like, because the way I would make my music, like, I was living that lifestyle. Like, I was doing the hard drugs, and it reflected in my music. So I made sure I went out of my way to make like the beat production. It was like a real druggy sounding, like, and a lot of that inspiration I did get from Future, Young Thug. So that literally goes to show your influence on the people is real.
Yeah,
and it's dangerous when us as a people, as a listener, we're following behind what we hear and what we see. So that's why I'm so grateful God has put me where he's put me now, is because I really realized like, yo, my words really have power behind it. And saying certain things, like as a Christian, it's different for people of the world. But as a Christian, once you say those words, I give my life over to God, like I surrender to you. Once you say that, you're going to be charged when judgment day comes from what you said to them people, whether you did it knowingly or not, you're going to have to speak for that. And one, I never liked being responsible for other people. So definitely now that I'm walking with God, I am not about to be responsible for your souls. So I have to watch what I say. And like I've never cursed, and I've never promoted anything that I used to promote once I gave my life to Christ, rapping wise, like I made sure, like if I'm gonna walk with God, like I have to walk with Him all the way. And Kanye's Donda album is what inspired me to do the baptism because I heard it, I loved it, but I'm like, and this is as a huge Kanye fan, it wasn't a gospel album.
It wasn't.
It was not a Christian gospel album. I see what he tried to do, like he tried to not curse, and he even had artists curse, but it was like bleeped out.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not praising God. You're not praising God on this album. Like the attempt is there, but it's not. It wasn't a gospel album. And when I heard it, I'm like, I felt like God was sitting me down. It was like, look, this is an example of what you can do. Like take the soulful influence, but you know me, so promote me. Yeah. So it's like I took the concept of what Kanye claimed he was doing and really like stepped full fledged into it. So.
And that's interesting that that's like your favorite artist. It's just like kind of ironic. And it goes back to like authenticity too, because I feel the same way about Kanye's quote unquote gospel albums. Even like, did you hear Jesus is King?
Yes.
That's probably one of like my least favorite Kanye albums. And it's not because I think there's a difference between like praising God in music and like talking about God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And because if you look at Donda, right, the song with Andre 3000, right, Life of the Party, Andre 3000 wrote like a heartfelt verse about losing his mom.
Yeah.
And Kanye was dissing Drake. Like you use that heartfelt message about that Andre 3000 doesn't give everyone a verse.
That's a fact.
Andre 3000 verse is hard to come by, but you're obviously he's Kanye West, so he can get one.
He's getting that verse,
but you use that, like, if of anyone, I thought Kanye would be able to resonate with a verse like that, especially since the song is named after his mom.
Yeah.
But he used that to diss Drake, somebody who he has on and off beef with. That's like that's probably my main problem with Kanye. And just like we're just talking about the music. Like, I feel like there's no more substance like what he says anymore. Like the production is there, right? But as far as what he's saying, I feel like it's not the same.
I feel like I could see why you would say that. Me personally, I feel like it's not as I can't even say not as impactful because he's never lost impact, but it's not as heartfelt as it was. Like it's definitely not Jesus Walks. Like you felt that when you heard it for the first time.
Yeah,
this album was more like it was thunderous. Like, nah, this is a bop. Like when
it was fire.
It was fire. Some people didn't like it, but majority, like, it won a Grammy. So like majority of people loved it. I still like it, but I'll be honest, I don't listen to it as much as I listen to some of his other projects. And honestly, it took me a while to restart. I stopped listening to a lot of rap. Kanye, I was shocked. Like I deleted even his music. Like the only album that I had kept when I had gone through like deleting a lot of music, I love 808s and Heartbreak. Like, that album resonates with my soul. I'll never give up that album. Unless if God ever tells me like you can't listen to this no more, I'll just have to eat that. But like until he says that, no, that's my go-to album.
I feel.
But yeah, there was a time I had to stop listening to a lot of rap because God was showing me, bro, I went through a rabbit hole. God sat me down, put me through like a rabbit hole of like what music really is.
And what music was that?
Music in general.
Okay.
Like
just different like genres?
Yeah. But mainly hip hop, but just in general, like what it takes to get to certain levels. Like honestly, that's a whole different conversation on its own. We could sit here for hours talking about just that. But it's like God showed me so much, and he was explaining to me, this is why I had you wait, and this is why you never got as big as you knew you could reach. And it hurt my heart. Like I remember laying in my bed crying in the fetal position because it's like, dang, something that I loved and like cherished in my heart so much for all these years, I'm figuring out what it really is, and it was just like crushing. Like it was crushing, bro. Like, dang, I have to give up music. I thought I had to quit. And then as time went on, God kept speaking to me. He was like, nah, I didn't tell you to quit. I'm just showing you the truth. So now you can reroute how you did it. And once he told me that he wanted me to start rapping for him, I was kind of fading. I'm like, how? Like, how you gonna rap about God? Like, what am I gonna say? Like, I can't quote scripture. I can't, like, I was still new in Christ. I was still a babe in Christ. So it's like, what am I going to say? And even if I do find something to say, it's not going to be as hot as what this was. But I was completely wrong. Like, I'm making the best music of my life, like, right now. And it's coming so effortlessly because Holy Spirit just been like God in my pen, bro. Like, I always felt I was great. But now I'm realizing it don't have nothing to do with me. God is a genius. God is a genius. Can we just clarify that?
Facts.
God is a genius. Like stuff just be falling in my lap and just be like, wow. Like, you could have sent this to anybody, but you sent this to me.
I think in general, I think as far as just creative people, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's anything, I feel like a lot of people are scared to like start over. Right. And sometimes it's scary, but sometimes it's necessary, right? But in your case, I remember you hit me and you were like, yeah, my next album is a Christian rap album. And I was like, what?
Bro, I honestly...
It definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah,
so it sounds like it wasn't like more so a decision. It sounded like like something you had to do.
It was God ordained. Like you said, so a lot of people, especially artists, like, they're afraid of change. They're afraid of switching it up. To me, that is the most exciting thing of being an artist. Like, you literally have the power to create whatever you want. And you can constantly, like, hey, you can wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to be a rapper that dresses in nothing but roses and pink colors all the time. If I wanted to do that, I could. And I just like the idea that I could constantly reinvent myself. And with each project, that's what I was doing. I was like reinventing myself because life kind of forced me to. Like, I was always in a different phase and area of my life was like, well, I can't make music like this no more because I'm not living that. So I had to, like, I was forced to constantly change the sound up, or even if it was similar to something else, it was different. You feel me? And then I'm glad you said that because I see that other people can see that too. It's like you can literally look at each of my projects and see I was in a different era.
For sure. And I think that Love Scar Melody is where at least I first heard you really talk about your relationship with God. So did that start like around that time period?
No, honestly.
Or was it like way before?
Not way before. I think was it Wet Dreams or Club Fan? It was between Roses or Red. No, actually, when I first came to Christ, I was still doing R&B. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think from the first R&B album, which was Wet Dreams, I was still like very new. So it was like I wasn't obviously as on fire for God as I am right now in this moment, but I was still very new to it, and I wasn't told yet who I was in music yet. So I didn't have no need to stop doing the music that I was making. But Love Scar, like I said, Love Scar Melody is what fully triggers. Like, all right, I have no choice but to get close. I don't have nothing else.
I think that was like the first one where it was really like prevalent.
God's
Warning.
Out. Do you remember God's Warning?
God's Warning. Is that a song or a project?
That was a song on Love Scar Melody.
I don't remember all the songs.
I ain't gonna kiss you less I know I'm kissing you slow.
Yes.
Oh my God, that song. Yo, I actually just re-listened to that whole album for the first time in a while 2 days ago because my job was stressing me out. And God was just whispering in my ear, and it was like, remember where you're going. And in order to to know where you're going, you have to remember where you came from. And I remember it just dawned on me, like, yo, the Baptism is literally my first album since the Love Scar Melody. And I was like, let me go re-listen to that just to see like how I got here. And I listened to it and it still hit. I'm like, bro, this album is a masterpiece.
It was tough.
This album is a masterpiece. People are going to catch on. That's the one thing I'm excited for. It's like when God finally puts me where I'm supposed to be. It's like, I'm excited to see people see where I came from. Like, bro, you literally have a candy store of music to pick from. Like I have 13 albums prior to this one, which would make 14, but it's like there's 13 other albums. So it's like, I think that's needed. A lot of people were questioning if I was going to like delete them. I was like, you're out of your mind. Like,
nah.
one, that was years of work and tears and blood and money.
Yeah.
Like, I sacrificed a lot. And like, honestly, I don't care what nobody say, I'm a legend already. Because there's not too many artists that can say they put out 13 independent albums. Like,
For sure.
so I take super pride in that. And it's like, I want people to see that I'm no different from them. Like, I was in the world just like you. I was doing these things just like you. And it's also a major part of my testimony. It's like, this is where I was at, but look at where I am now.
Yeah, I personally love when like I find an artist who's like, they could be mainstream or like I guess kind of known, and like listening to like where they are now and then going back and they have like 10 projects. So you can see kind of like where they got to that point.
Exactly.
I want to go back to when we were talking about authenticity a little bit.
Okay.
I think, at least I feel like going like the Christian rap route, right? We already talked about how, you know, a lot of rappers aren't authentic, right? And I feel like the perception of Christian rap, we haven't really seen, besides Ye, we haven't really seen a lot of like mainstream artists
take that route,
be successful in it.
Okay.
You know, and obviously you don't want to be put in a box as a Christian rapper. You want to be an artist, right? Because like, I'll give you an example, like Chance the Rapper, when he really started that route with, like,
I can't stand him, by the way, but continue.
Yeah, like when he started rapping about his relationship with God is when people really turned on him. Like when he dropped like Coloring Book, right? I feel like a lot of people aren't really like receptive to, I guess,
God, the message of God. Yeah, it's very, what's the word? It's very tricky because the world will say, yeah, I love God, I love Jesus. But do you really? Because like, if you love Jesus as much as you say you do, why isn't Christian music, why isn't gospel music the #1 genre in the world? And it just goes to show authenticity. Like, people aren't honest. But what I've come to accept is that, one, I never cared to be like super famous. I never cared to be a superstar. I have said that I was a superstar because that's just how I feel. Like, I just feel very highly of myself. So it's like, I know who I am. But do I care if other people acknowledge me as that? No. What I used to want isn't the things I want now. But what I used to want, you know, Currency?
Yeah.
So it's like rappers like Currency, who they have like a cult like fan base. Like, if you know, you know, and they're very tapped in.
He's been rapping for a minute.
Exactly. He's like 100 mixtapes, but like a real Currency fan knows majority of them. So it was like, I was perfectly okay with just building up a cult like following. And it's like, if you know, you know, I ain't got to be known to the world, but like my following that rock with me, like they rock with me. That's always what I was chasing. But now it's very less just me. It's more selfless. I'm comfortable with the fact that the music is going to touch whoever it's meant to reach, and as long as it has an impact on those people and those ears and those hearts, my job is done. Like, if I help plant a seed in one person, I did my job. Because as a Christian, our biggest job is to spread the gospel. And shout out to Koheleth, man. That's my rap group. It's two of my other brothers, Stefan Tucker, Leonard Terry, and Koheleth means like preacher, someone who preaches the gospel, literally a preacher who preaches the gospel to the nations. Like, you're spreading the word of God. So anyone can be a Koheleth, you feel me? So my job now is, like I said, is to just keep spreading that message, making people aware of who God is, giving my testimony on what he's done for me. And that's all I can do. Like, if you don't like it or you have your opinion on me, that's cool. I'm not going to try to stop it.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like, my job is to, whoever it touches, that's who it's for. And that's the only reason why I'm still going and keeping my faith in God when it comes to this music. Because like I said, I was going to quit at one point. It wasn't because of my brothers that I kept making music, because I seen what they were doing with the Christian rap, and it was tough. And I was shocked. Like I said, I'm not a hater. Like, if you're dope, I can't deny it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really hip to Christian rap like that. So when the guy who brought me to the church, shout out to Osborne, when he brought me to the church, he was telling me about them, and I was I was like, I don't care. Like, why you? I don't care. Like, I know I'm a rapper and they're rappers, but like, I don't care. Especially you talking about the Christian rap, okay?
Yeah.
But I got hip to them, and I was like, nah. Like, Leonard was the one who caught my eye first. Like, he can spit, bro. He can spit. I'm listening. I'm like, this dude is spitting, but he talking about God, and it's so hard.
You guys dropped a single recently, right?
We did.
It
Glow
was
in the
Glow
Dark.
Glow in the Dark.
Yeah.
That was hard, bro.
Yeah, all good.
The
God,
beat was
man.
hard. Yeah, y'all definitely were tough on that. Are we gonna see like a group project soon?
Yeah, we in talks of working on it. We trying not to rush anything. Everything is on God's timing. So
for sure.
Last year, Leonard Terry, he dropped his album, Welcome to the Kingdom. That was well received. We basically been on like a tour since then.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm doing more performances than ever than I was as a solo act rapping in the world. Like, I performed here and there throughout the years. Like, it'll be like once every 2-3 years or something like that. But now, bro, like every other week and month, it's like show.
Y'all just won a competition, right?
Bro,
the McDonald's Gospel Fest.
We just performed at the that's crazy.
Yeah, I meant to. I was gonna swipe like what where did y'all perform at the Prudential Center? But I was like, I'll save it for the interview.
We performed at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Now, if you're a Jersey head and you're from Essex County, you know the Prudential Center is like our only stadium for real.
Yeah,
locally
in Jersey, really. Besides like MetLife,
yeah,
that's like
exactly.
A big ass.
Exactly. So to perform at the Prudential Center is no like small accomplishment. Like, that was big. And then on top of that, bro, like it came to us. Like, the people reached out to us and was like, yo, we want y'all to come perform. Like, we didn't know anything of it. And
That's tough.
Yeah, they reached out to us, and the performance was only 60 seconds. And I ain't gonna lie, I was type tight at first. I'm like, what are we supposed to do in 60 seconds, bro? I was really
especially because it's 3 of y'all.
Yeah, so it's like
crazy.
It's like 20 seconds per person.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
It's like, what are we doing? How? But God finessed it. We ended up reusing a track that they have called Ephesians, and we just like remixed it, and I added my verse in it, and we just all had new verses, and I was an addition, and we rocked out, man. We just did what we did, and we had to change our perspective, especially me. God has been telling me like, yo, like, it's not about the crowd. And this is something I always knew, but bro, it wasn't until the performance before the Prudential Center performance. We went to a college, West Caldwell, I believe. We went to this college over there, and people were performing praise dancing or whatever. And that day really showed me in depth, like, you never know who in the room. Like, if it's like 15 people, 20 people, the amount of people don't matter. It's who's in the room, but you'll never know who's in the room until it's time to be revealed. And what happened that day, like it was like towards the end, and it just blew me away. I was like, wow, I would have never guessed we would have got this experience from here. And that's when God was showing me like, yo, like, from this day forward, stop judging stuff. Like, stop prejudging stuff before you see what I'm doing, and stop doubting him. I was kind of in a way doubting God. Is like, bro, we like this. Why are we here? And then God is just like, boom, this is why. It's like, oh, so
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so when did y'all like form the group?
So Koheleth was already a group before me.
You joined it.
Yeah, I was like the third piece to the puzzle. Like, everything is God ordained, man. Like, God really been touching all of us, and like, I was led to the group. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing is luck. We don't believe in that. So they were already a thing. When I joined the church, I believe maybe like a year after I was already a member. That's when they came to me and was like, "Yo, like, we want you to be a part of Koheleth," and it was like, it was a no-brainer for me, because like, one of these, I had already considered them my brothers. So it was like, I bet, like, whatever y'all doing, I'm with it.
And when was this? What, like, year?
This is 2023, so this had to be like 2021.
Okay,
I want to say.
So I mean, that's still fairly recent though.
Yeah, so, like, we're literally at the beginning of our story.
Yeah, it's crazy. You already performed at Prudential Center.
Already performing at the Prudential.
It's really the sky's the limit.
No, I always say Sky. Her name is Sky, and every time I greet her, I always say Sky's not the limit, because it's really not. Like, after the sky is space.
True, that's true.
So, and space is infinite. So there's galaxies upon galaxies inside of galaxies. So sky is not the limit. You can surpass the sky. So we just gonna keep doing what God leads us to, go where He tells us to go, man.
I feel you, bro. I'm excited to see what the group has in store, but let's talk about you, bro.
Okay.
Baptism
Baptism
is out.
it's
You just
out
dropped
now.
it.
All platforms going crazy right now.
Fire.
I'm just so happy to see people leaving with something from it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the goal. Like,
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed the project.
thank you.
I thought that, you still, you're still melodic on there, but I feel like you went
Mhm.
back to really rapping.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. This is the first time in a long time where I was like back spitting, because people for a while when I was rapping worldly and doing the melodic stuff, people constantly was like, yo, like the singing stuff is cool, but we really want you to rap. And I was just like, no, I'm gonna do what I want. I like to sing, I'm gonna sing. So I don't care.
And look, this is someone from the outside looking in, right?
Mhm.
And from the content you've seen, I'm honest when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Right? From the outside looking, I've heard like Christian rappers before. I heard like, like a Lecrae.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's really hard to not be kind of like corny when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to really rap and flow without it sounding like corny. Like,
Thank you, bro.
it was tough, bro.
Oh, good God, man.
I want to go through some of my favorite tracks from it.
Okay.
You always have really strong intros when it comes to albums.
I have to.
Yeah,
I
which is
firmly
important.
Stand on that.
It really gets on my nerves when, like, I hate when someone starts the album with like someone talking or something like that. I feel like you got to start off with like
gotta come crazy,
like one of your best tracks.
Because to me, music, okay, how I make music, I envision it as a movie. And with anything I watch, if I'm not captured within the first 15 minutes, I am not watching the rest of it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And like all of my favorite movies, like off the rip, it catches you. Like the first one that comes to mind is The Dark Knight. That's like my favorite movie ever. Bruh, the Joker was wilding from the beginning. So it's like, that's how I take my music. It's like, bro, you have to, this is your one shot. People are going to choose to either listen to the rest of this album by how you started off. So it's like, I have to start it off fire, and I equally have to end it fire. So it's like my intro and my outro are like the two most important things to me.
For sure. I think music goes the best, the greatest movies ever have fire soundtracks too.
You have to.
Like that's one of the most important things when it comes to films, in my opinion. Like this just came out. I don't know if you saw, if you're into comic book movies, Guardians of the Galaxy just came out.
I didn't see it. I plan on seeing it though.
Really good. I won't spoil it, but like the opening scene, it's one of the main characters who like the movie's about, and it starts off with "Creep" by Radiohead.
Okay.
And it just, the vibe of it just fits it so well. Like, it really set the tone for the movie. Yeah, definitely go watch it. But yeah, that first track definitely set the tone for the project. I liked Amen.
Amen.
I liked your flow in that. I liked your flow on Yo Yo too.
I love Yo Yo.
You saying you were like Christian Jodeci was a fire line. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was tough. I liked Behave.
That's like the favorite right now.
Yeah, bro. Just I feel like
Behave.
it's the beat switch, bro. Like when it switched to like the trap beat, and you had a lot of great quotables. One of my favorite quotables was in Behave. You said, "Everybody want to question the Bible, but don't nobody want to read about it."
Don't nobody want to read about it.
And I feel like today there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'm not really into like religion," right?
Let's talk about it.
And I'm one of those people, I'll admit.
Okay.
Right? So, but I feel like a lot of people, they don't really put the time in to do the research too. They just don't want to. Like, it's like, I'm not into religion because I really don't like want to like know anything about it. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing. This is very important. It's not about the religion. Religion is just a practice.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, I'm not into religion. I'm not into that. You know, it's not my thing. I'm more spiritual." You have to understand what
I've
you're
heard that
saying.
so many times, bro.
You have to understand what you're saying. There's a right and wrong way to everything, especially the spirit world.
Yeah.
So when it comes to religion and God, you're not following the religion. You're following God. Be a follower of Christ. If that's who you say, I ask a lot of people, I'm like, "Yo, like, you believe in Jesus? You believe in God?" I'm like, "Yeah, I believe. I'm not into the religion though. It's two different things. The religion is just like the traditional practices or whatever, you feel me? But following God, following his word, that's a whole different thing. Like, bro, crack that Bible open. And a lot of things, it's like a pet peeve the the devil has a hold on the black community because the devil has convinced the black community that Christianity is a white man's religion. Bro, no, it's not. Like a quick Google search will debunk that. Like, first of all, there were traces of Christianity in Ethiopia before it ever got to Europe.
Mhm.
So automatically that's debunked. It's not a white man's religion. And then second of all, you're decrediting the word of God because God's word isn't subjected to just one race. Like it's for all men, all people.
Yeah.
So to sit here and say the white man made this religion to
that's
enslave
crazy.
us.
That's
it's
crazy.
like no. Like yes, they did they used it to their benefit with slavery and all that. You know, they twisted the word of God for me, but it's the same thing with everything. I tell people all the time, like, don't say you're a believer of God if you're not going to study it. It's like going to school. I can't say, oh, yeah, I go to Rutgers. I'm a student at Rutgers. But it's like, I go there, I chill in the caf, and I dip. You're not a student. You just go there.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't study anything. Like
you don't participate.
Yeah, like for someone, it's disrespectful to someone like you who graduated from college, who put the work in, who put the time into studying, lost sleep hours, like jotting down notes and all that, sweating doing the tests. That's not the same student as a student who just passing through when it's convenient for them.
And you know what's crazy? My first 2 years of college, I was that student. I was a student who just went to class and dipped, but it's because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that a lot of people, they don't put the time in. See, me, I went to Catholic school from like pre-K to like high school, right? So my whole life, I grew up on like Catholicism, like that religion, right?
Yeah.
So I got to know a good amount about it. I read the Bible, and then later on, I got to read up on other religions, right? So for me, I believe in God, right? And I don't think I want to say, I don't think it's like, who knows which religion is like the right one? And I don't judge if you like practice any religion.
Right.
I think it's more about like how you live. You know what I'm saying? And like the rules you just abide by. I think it's more so like, I think that's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying?
So, like you said, you can't tell nobody what to believe. You feel me? But you can't discredit facts.
Yeah.
There's no other religion but Christianity that tells you that Jesus died and rose again.
Yeah, I saw you post this on your Instagram.
Yeah, I thought when I seen it, it was very interesting, and I knew it wouldn't get a lot of traction because when you say stuff like that, people, they don't want to hear that. They're just gonna scroll past it. You feel me?
Yeah.
But it was very powerful because I have people who I'm close with. My sister, she's really close with the Buddhism and stuff like that. So I have friends who are into other stuff, and I never. One thing I've learned as a Christian is to not bash anyone for their beliefs, and also I try not to speak about it unless they come to me. So this way it doesn't come off as if I'm trying to alter your belief or what you believe in. You feel me? Like until you come to me and you want to ask questions and you want genuine knowledge, I'll give it to you. But my bishop taught me is like when you speak at people with religion, they're not receiving what you're saying. They're just hearing it. So
That's true.
You don't want your words to fall upon deaf ears. So it's like if people are genuinely intrigued, they'll come to you and ask. You feel me?
Sure.
But with the other religions, a lot of them are very similar. Like you said, they all have principles on how to live life. But it's sketchy, man, because it's not just about living life. Like you said, if you believe in God, you want to live how God said to live. His word doesn't change. People do. So, and the Bible has been around forever. Like the traces of the beginning of the Bible goes back to like ancient Egypt. Like it's like you said, people have changed it over time. Like it's altered itself, but the word of God has never changed. It's still the same. And then it's different ways to read the Bible. You can't read the Bible like you read any other book because Jesus jumps back and forth in time.
True.
Like the New Testament, there's things that happen in the Old Testament. Jesus wasn't even technically born yet, but he was there. Like if you read it, the Bible is the deepest thing on earth. It's so crazy. That's why people be like, "Yeah, I read the Bible. How did you read it?" And like, first off, even if you read it from front to back, it takes a year to really finish it if you're really reading it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But then after you read it that way, like I said, like you have to like that's everybody can't be a pastor because it takes anointing. Like God has to call you to do that. You can't just pick up a Bible, feel like you understand it, and be like, yeah, I can preach this.
For sure.
Like,
For sure.
anyone,
like anything.
Anyone can be a preacher. Because
Mhm.
being a preacher is just like you spreading the gospel, you feel me?
Yeah.
But a pastor, you don't pick that. You don't choose that. God chooses you to do that. You feel me? And when it comes to being a pastor, from what I've seen, like you really have to be able to decipher, like I said, the back and forth. Like I remember the bishop blew my mind one time for my church. Shout out to Sardis Temple Baptist Church. Like, bro, the way he preaches is insanity. I've never seen nobody preach like that. He was the reason. Well, he not gonna say he was the reason. He was the confirmation of what solidified me of wanting to choose to keep coming to church. Because when I first came, immediately I said in my mind, how this plays out is going to determine how this man preaches. And every time he preached, it was like he was speaking directly to me in the situation I was going through. But that's never the case when it comes to church. Like the word is for everybody, but God knows how to touch everybody with one word.
Yeah.
Because we're going through similar things in some way or somehow, you feel me? And the way my bishop like preaches, man, it's just like not just anyone can preach like that. And I've seen other preachers, I've seen other bishops, I've seen it. And it's like the way he preaches, it's almost like unreal. Like to me, like as an artist, I've spoken to him and he agrees. I'm like, yo, like the way you preach is almost like performing.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But like how an artist performs on stage, like it's so, bro, like he just knows how to touch you, and God just speaks through him so clear, like a child will walk away with something from. I've seen it, bro.
I think it is performing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's definitely like aspects of like performances.
Yeah, you have to prep, you have to prepare, you have to like some preachers or pastors are like very dry and bland with how they preach. So it's like I don't like those type of pastors because like you put me to sleep. So it's like I'm not really listening to what you're saying. Like I'm waiting for the service to be over. But when you have someone who like really believes what they're saying, they're passionate about it. Like you have no choice but to move around. Like you have no choice but to interact with the crowd. Like you said, it's like an artist, like a real artist. Like you're not just standing on the stage with one mic, standing in one spot rapping. Like you have to move around because if you believe what you're saying, naturally it's just gonna move through you. You feel me? And the people can feel what you're saying. So if you don't come off as you believe what you're saying, I'm not about to believe it either.
I feel like it's also a lot of black churches like that too.
Like what?
More like fun.
Fun? That's an interesting take.
Enjoyable.
Oh, well, yes, because I believe that like a Baptist church is a lot more soulful than like a Catholic church.
That's probably the word I should use.
Yeah.
Soulful.
Well, that was just my wording.
Okay.
But someone else might say something different. But that's we agree on soulful.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's more like you feel the spirit more.
Yeah.
I can't really speak on other denominations because I haven't really been in them. The only one I can really kind of say I've experienced is like Catholic because I also went to in school. I think it was like middle school. I went to like a Catholic school. In high school, I went to St. Anthony's.
Okay.
Hated that school, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
was that like an all boys one?
No, thank God it wasn't. I can't.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either.
Nah, that seems like a depressing life.
Yeah, hell no. But yeah, continue.
That's really it, man. Like, yeah, like, I agree with what you said. Like, black churches tend to have more fun and soul to it.
Yeah. Probably. So back to the album though.
Okay.
My favorite track in the album was probably Elevate. And you had another great quotable in that, and it's a quote that you also have like a variation of it in your IG bio.
Okay.
You
want to follow the world, follow God?
You said, do you want to win with the world? Do you want to win with God? Right. Mm-hmm. So what's the significance of that quote?
That line originated in the song Yo Yo. That was the first time I ever said it. It was like, yo, like, you want to follow the world, you want to follow God. In the song Yo Yo, I said, finding God was easy. It don't feel like God be finding me. That was one of the truest things I ever said because it's like, that's really what I was feeling. It's like, all right, I found God. I'm in the church. I changed my life around. but where are you at? Like, I feel like I was
Yeah.
just abandoned. Like, all right, bro, like you just left me. Like, I
Yeah.
feel alone.
This is kind of like finding God isn't where like the journey ends.
Not at
It's where it
all.
begins.
Finding
Mhm.
God is that's like you're literally in the beginning of it. It's like you have to get used to one. It's kind of selfish to say, but I'm pretty sure God understands. It's like when you're new, you don't know how to just discern God's voice right away. You feel me? So it's like you literally have to learn that, and that takes time. Some people's time is quicker than others. You feel me? I think for me, it was fairly quick. And I only know that because of my bishop and the family around me. Like everyone kept saying, like, yo, like God's growth in you is happening like quick, like quicker than normal. And to me, it's just like, bro, I'm just listening. I'm just here. Like I'm just whatever God's saying. If I can understand it, that's what we doing. You feel me? But now that quote, I live by that now. For like it's become like my slogan. Like I think I'm gonna start doing merch with that quote because it's like for real. Do you want to follow the world? You want to follow God? Because you know what it came from? The idea of believing just because we're good people, and the common thing for people to say is God knows my heart, and it's because I'm a good person, so I know I'm going to heaven, even though I don't go to church. I don't really follow God like that, but God knows my heart. But it's very unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate truth, but that's not how it works because your idea of what good is not God's idea of good at all. It's the exact opposite. Like if you're one, we're all dirty, filthy sinners. Let's just get that clear, whether you're saved or not. But if you're not saved, like you're not good, bro. Like you have not confessed to God. You have not admitted that He's your Lord and Savior. You have not killed the old you. You have not got baptized and came up out that water a new creature. So you're not good. And like I said, it's an unfortunate truth. But like I said in the beginning of this interview, you either going to accept it or not. Like everybody in this world is going to get an opportunity to meet Jesus Christ. And you're either going to accept the call or you're going to decline it. The saying "many are called, few were chosen" is one of the truest things ever because God is going to show He's going to show Himself and reveal Himself to everybody, but people are going to be like, "I don't want that. I want to keep living like this," and that's you declining the call. Now you have a very small window because we are in the end of times, whether you realize it or not. We in the end of days. Like every other week, I see something where it's like prophecies are like unraveling from the Bible, and honestly, it'd be scary. But God he had to convict me because it's like, what you scared for? Like, what you scared for? Like, the world has to end. It has to come to a close. Like, I have to make it new. I have to come back. And when we go with Him, it's going to be better than anything we've ever experienced. So it's like you should be excited for that. So it's like you right, you're right. Like I'm covered. I ain't got nothing to worry about. This what we living right now is just for now. So
Okay. So the album, it was called Baptism, right?
mhm.
So for me, it felt like this was kind of like a new beginning.
Yes,
Like not just in life, but like when it comes to like your career, right?
yes.
So from, next time we hear you, are you going the Christian rap route still? Or is it going to be like, I know you mentioned earlier how every album is a different era. So are you still going to play with different genres, or is this like the new King Prince?
So I'm always going to be a Christian artist. That's this ever is I don't even know if I can call it an ever because it's not ever leaving. But like the style and sound maybe.
That's
So,
yeah, okay.
yes. I do plan on still jumping into different genres. Like I can never just rap. Like it's just not in me. Like I'm so full of energy and personality. I have to like try new things. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna sing. I'm still gonna harmonize. Um, I have. I really want to do like a Afro beat project.
Tough.
Praising God, which I've already started the process of writing. I'm never stopping writing. I'm always constantly.
Yes,
writing,
I saw
writing.
I saw you posted you already back to like recording.
Oh yeah, my man's posted that like the day my album dropped, I was back in the studio. I didn't even realize that's what was happening. Like, yo, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like I'm in the studio the same day my album dropped. Like I just don't stop, but I can't. This is who I am, bro. I love music. I really do. But yeah, I do plan on jumping from touching different genres. But it's just like when it comes to projects, I'm big on projects. Like you got two different type of artists. You got artists that like they're like single artists, like they care more about the singles. And some artists genuinely believe that dropping a lot of singles and building up to the album is the way to go. But I personally feel like that's all preference because me, I've always been a albums guy. Like I'm gonna listen to your album before I listen to your single. Like I want to see your body of work. What do you sound like as a whole? I don't care about the single. Yeah, this is a cool song. Can you do it again and again and again? Like, can you keep doing it? You feel me? So that's just who I am as an artist. I love projects. So I'm always gonna go out my way to make sure the body of music sounds cohesive and like captivating.
I meant to ask you, you dropped like a couple singles before the album dropped, and
Yes.
they weren't on the album.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you like left them off?
So actually I do that all the time. So all of my singles have never been on my album. I just like the idea that the singles are leading up to my project, and I never want people to think they know what I'm about to do. Like if you listen to the singles that I did before Baptism, naturally you would assume I know what direction he's going in. And then I dropped the album and it's like, whoa, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
This is not Praise Dance. This is not
yeah,
Sub-Zero.
For sure.
So it's like I just like catching people off guard because I never liked the idea of people thinking they got me figured out. It's almost disrespectful. Like, don't tell me you know what I'm about to do. No, you don't. So it's like I have to prove you wrong. So it's just a thing with me.
Word. So what's next for you, bro? I know the album just dropped, but are we gonna see any visuals to it? Are we gonna see a group project?
Yeah. So I already shot the video to Hold Me Close. That'll probably be out. By the time this video is out, I think that video will probably be out first. God willing. I definitely plan on shooting the video to Behave. So y'all could look out for that because that song is like hot right now. And we just started. Like we only on day 2. So it's nowhere near to where it's going to be.
Behave was fire.
And I truly believe that visuals are what put songs on the map. Like you can have a fire song, but people like visuals. And the visuals what makes a song go. So
for sure. I'm excited to see it, bro. I appreciate you for coming through.
Yes, sir.
This was a long time coming. You definitely gotta come back for your next project. Thank you guys for watching and listening on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all that. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Follow the pod on IG, the Supervillain Show _
and TikTok.
Yeah, and TikTok. _ Injustice on TikTok for all the clips and stuff. I never shout out to TikTok. That's crazy.
Gotta show love, man. Yeah. TikTok. Listen, man. People sleep on TikTok. TikTok is where I first went viral ever.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a little easier to go viral on TikTok. I've been having success on IG Reels recently, just because I think I figured out the algorithm a little bit.
Bro, I'm so proud of you, bro. People are finally starting to.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's been a minute, bro.
It's been a minute, and I can honestly say, like, I've watched you from the start, and I'm always gonna be here by your side, bro. I support what you're doing. You're like very dope, very talented,
bro. Likewise, bro. Likewise. Like I said, we're gonna bring you back up here, bro. Amen. Whether it's an interview or like you just come on the pod.
It is what it is.
Just talk about, we talk about a lot of stuff on here, man. A lot of crazy stuff. But yeah, thank you for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Check out the Baptism on
man.
All streaming
everywhere.
Apple, Spotify, all
everywhere.
That. And tell them where they can find your stuff.
Hey man, you want to follow me on the gram? It's the #1 Kxng Prince. You can follow me on TikTok, King Prince. King is always spelled with an X. I just took the I out. But yeah, man, follow your boy. Follow my Apple Music. Download those musics, man. Download those albums. Baptism out right now, man. Came from the world, but now I'm stepping for the kingdom, repping for God. Listen, man, next time you see me, within a year or 2, remember this face, because I'm about to be one of God's biggest mouthpieces in a while. Like, I'm about to take over the world. And that ain't even coming from me. He told me this. So that's what it is.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna put all the information in the bio so you can,
it's lit, man. Do your thing.
Yeah. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you, bro.
See y'all next time.
Deuces.